nations of the world unite. It's time to war, to fight the fight against the puppet masters pulling strings. We'll strip away the power, hear our piercing scream. We won't be silenced anymore. We break free from the chains that they adore. Stand tall, Unrig in the game we rise. We'll bring reality from their lies. Unrig the game, unleash the fury.
Greetings and welcome to Unrig the Game. I can hear just fine now. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome. Sorry for the rough start there. Always last minute fires to put out. I think I got everything going now. I think we're all good. I think we're going to make it. Thank you to all of you Winner Circle reoccurring members. Let's go at the bottom of the screen. Additionally, thank you, Wolfram and Shelley, for also being recurring members on Rumble. Thank you so much. All you guys make it happen. I appreciate it. Like you wouldn't believe. How's everybody doing out there right now? Thank you for hanging out for the delayed start. We're all good. Yeah. Okay. I figured out what was going on and it's all fine. Wolfram, thank you for dropping the links. Remember, everybody listen to the Wolf. The Wolf knows what's up. All right. He wipes his paws, lips, and howls. And yes, I had a little bit of audio issue, but I'm here after a reboot. Let's see. I also saw, oh yeah, make sure you subscribe to Shelly. Shelly's out there. Hello Shelly, Wolfram and me. Hello Daisy, how you doing? Cool Gamer, what's up, buddy? How you doing? All right, cool deal. We're off and rolling. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. I'm just trying to make sure I go back over everything. Remember, this is the kickoff show. We do some time here on the kickoff show, and then we go over to X and Rumble exclusively for the reading. And tonight will be chapter 8. Looks like it's going to be a great chapter. I'm looking forward to it. When dictators become stakeholders. Yeah, Venezuela is feeling that right now, aren't they? Well, I wish Venezuela the best of luck. I hope they overthrow the commies and get their country back and kick out the communists and never turn around, never let them back in. As I see the communists walking down and holding up Chinese flags, going down Philadelphia, in the middle of the street in Philadelphia, it makes me wonder why we tolerate it. Like that, it's literally an invasion, an invading army. We're so free that you can march an invading army down the street here and we'll let you. That's how free we are. Is that too free? I mean, there's no such thing as too free, but is that really part of it? Is that really part of freedom? Is letting your enemies walk all over you? Sure seems to be that way. At least that's the way we've been programmed to believe it. I don't believe it. I think that freedom means that you're allowed to fight to preserve what is freedom. And communism is not freedom. Neither is globalism. Neither is any of this other stuff that we've been told to stand down from. And I believe the longer that we're made to stand down, the more likely it is it'll end in a bigger incident than need be, than if we just say, no, communists aren't allowed to march on our streets. Communists aren't allowed to indoctrinate our youth. Communists aren't allowed to be here. If you want communism, we're going to put you on a plane and send you right back. We'll send you over where communism thrives and you can just enjoy your life over there. What do you guys think about that? I mean, why do we tolerate it? It's not, I don't think it's part of freedom. I think freedom, it's the freedom to kick communists out of your country, isn't it? We shouldn't be tolerating communism anywhere at any time, ever, ever, ever. So maybe we need to change our attitudes about that. X, what's up? Hey, crazy thing going on in X. We haven't quite gotten our audience yet, but hopefully people will start to tune in because the people over on X, they like Vivek Ramaswamy. They like reading. So hopefully they'll be here tonight. But I literally was watching them, I guess, update their database in real time. I don't know. That's one way to put it. Like I had 477 followers, which is down to 468 right now from 477. But I think for like an hour I watched it go from 477 to 467, from 477 to 467, back and forth. I'm like, what in the world are you guys doing there? I don't know if anybody else noticed that going on with their X account today, but my followers were going down and then back up 10, down and then back up 10. And then it finally settled on down 10, and then I got another follower, so it's back up 1. So hey, that's good news for the Rumble side, because they're in a heated battle to get to 500 first, because Rumble is now up to 461. It's 461. And so that gives you guys a chance to really catch up with X, because X was had a commanding lead. Now you're only 7 behind. So 7 more followers to tie X, and 8 to take the lead. So do it. Take the lead. It's a fun competition, and we're all enjoying it very much. All right. Thank you for that. Let me grab the links, because this is the kickoff show. By the way, I need to change my banner. Thank you. There it is. All right. The kickoff show. Yes, this is the kickoff show where we guys hang out. That way we can include all 3 platforms. You see, because eventually we have to leave YouTube behind, because they don't let us read they don't let us read audiobooks on YouTube without giving us a hard time. So we want to be able to read together or listen together. And so we have to go over to where there's more free speech, and that is Rumble and X. So we do a kickoff show here, and I'm going to kick off tonight's kickoff show with some stuff. I usually put that behind the plus, right? So the plus is what I'm doing on the kickoff show, and -KOS is kick off show. That way, when you see KOS, it's a kickoff show stream, and you're going to eventually need to go over to Rumble and X to complete the to see the full stream. That is. All right, let me make sure I got this in place while I got on my clipboard saved. And here comes the full stream links, everybody. I know this is a very exciting time. There we go. Full stream links are on and being pinned. And those are the ones you're going to follow over for the full readings tonight. All right, we all know how it goes. Guys, last week, chapter 6 and 7 of Woke Inc. were awesome. And unfortunately, it fell into the lowest viewed episode yet. So I think that was just kind of like rumble issues there. But I want to make sure that everybody who's following along with the book, or if you're the first time hanging out, to know that 6 and 7 are great chapters. And I think you can pretty much, if you don't want too much of the backstory, I like the backstory. If you want to get to know Vivek, listen to the first 5 chapters. If you want to jump into the meat of the Unrig in the game part and whatnot, I think you could start at 6 and 7 and be just fine. So that's only 1 episode, 2 20-minute chapters. Awesome chapters. 2 of my favorite of the book so far. And if this chapter is as good as the last 2, we're on a roll here. I think the whole book's been great. But it did go through quite a bit of a build up. So if you're not into the build ups, you can probably just start at chapter 6 and 7, which was last week. And luckily I put playlists. A playlist. I'm running a playlist for this series, and it's in the description of both YouTube and Rumble, although it is a Rumble playlist. So click over there, check out that playlist. I'll update it with tonight's episode. Right now, I just won't be able to order it yet. Let's see. Ding, there we go. All right. So I haven't ordered it yet, but it's in there. Make sure if you're on Rumble to subscribe, thumbs up, all that stuff. Let's really start to make Rumble take off, because we're going to need it. All right, guys. To start off, hey, there's Kaiwan Calendar. How you doing, Kaiwan? I did check out I did check that out. That lady is very interesting. That was talking. It was a clip. I do appreciate the clip. Thank you. I did check that out. Gave you a thumbs up on that. I appreciate it. Yeah. So let's kick off tonight with some Vivek. Vivek had this to say at the RNC. He put it back out today, but in case you didn't catch it, or if it was too clippy, here's just 2.5 minutes of it, about 2.5, a little over 2.5 minutes of it, just a reminder. And then I'm going to go into the DEI chief. Wait till you get a load of this lady. Gets grilled in Congress and is made to look as incompetent as she is. And I'll talk more about that when we get to there. Here's a little bit of Vivek to start.
To those of you watching this at home tonight, I'd like to deliver a message that the media doesn't want you to hear from the Republican Party. Our message to Black Americans is this: the media has tried to convince you for decades that Republicans don't care about your communities, but we do. We want for you what we want for every American: safe neighborhoods, clean streets, good jobs, a better life for your children, and a justice system that treats everyone equally, regardless of your skin color and regardless of your political beliefs. Our message to every legal immigrant in this country is this: you're like my parents. You deserve the opportunity to secure a better life for your children in America. But our message to illegal immigrants is also this: we will return you to your country of origin, not because you're all bad people, but because you broke the law. And the United States of America was founded on the rule of law. Our message to millennials, speaking as one myself: yes, it's true. Our government sold us a false bill of goods with the Iraq War and the 2008 financial crisis, loading up our national debt that falls on our generation's shoulders, telling us that if we took out college loans, we'd somehow get a head start on the American dream, when it hasn't worked out that way. But
Nope.
we can't just be cynical about our country, because the United States of America is still the last best hope that we have, and we deserve a better class of politician, one who actually tells us the truth, even if it comes with some mean tweets from time to time.
He just nails it. He just nails it.
And our message to Gen Z is this: you're going to be the generation that actually saves this country. You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie?
Yep.
You want to stick it to the man?
Have
Show
kids.
up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
Mhm.
Say you want to get married, have kids, teach them to believe in God and pledge allegiance to their country. Because you know what? Fear has been infectious in this country, but courage can be contagious too. That too is what it means to be an American.
Yep. There you go. Vivek just nails it, man. That's why I think he's the man for 28. I'm, ahead of even JD Vance, who's going to be vice president. I still would like to see. I think the reason my case for Vivek being the pick in 28 is that he's financially independent and is never taken any cash from anybody. That makes him kind of like at that checks the final box, right? That untouchable level, and well insured, well secured, away from that. I think that's what makes him. I think that's the difference it's going to make. So that's who I want in 28 right now, unless something changes. All right. So, and it's funny about that the border thing. They're trying to make a big deal out of it. The borders are a thing. Kamala's going to get out there and she's going to lie, because that's what she does. She's paid to lie. She's a liar. And she'll lie all day long about what's going down there at the border. She'll say she wasn't the border czar when she was. I mean, just more, let the lies rain down, and we will put out the content that exposes it. Recently I literally saw a line of people coming, getting ushered into the country by our border patrol, and literally talk about military age men. These are like literally soldier looking dudes coming through. Hey, Memento, what's up? I mean, I saved the video. I'll try to find out, play it after the chapter. I did save it, so I'll give you guys a look at that. Yeah, one after the other, like dudes that look like they're in incredible shape. Some of them look like they're freaking monsters, ready to roar. So, and what are they all doing here? And then I'll show you. We'll go through it together after we read tonight over on X and Rumble. But let's jump into the this person. I'm sure you don't even know who she is. I didn't until I saw this. because it's a position that should never have been created in government. It's waste. And, Jesus Christ, what a name. Here we go. Let me just pull it up on screen. The Honorable, not really. Gina K. Abercrombie Winstanley. What the dash Winstanley? Good Lord. That's a horrible name. All right. Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer, U.S. State Department. Yes, your tax money is paying for this person right here to make bad decisions and to ruin the government from the inside out. How about that? And then incredible. Have you seen the villain yet? Here she is. All right. And now she's about to get grilled. Is that Biden official panics as Ted Cruz reads her creepy email showing anti-white discrimination. Is anybody surprised? Is anybody shocked? Let's hear.
Do you believe the senior State Department official who sent this email was lying?
Let's read that real quick. He's going to read it too, but I just want you to see it. I'm going to highlight some things on here. This is as we enter into another assignment cycle. Good Lord. We wanted to remind everyone that hiring decisions should never be made on the basis of protected EEO categories. What is that? Including gender, race, disability, sexual orientation, or religion. Why are we raising this now? Unfortunately, over the past several months, a number of people have reported comments that contain that certain candidates could not be hired because they have disabilities, they are white men, they are straight white men, they are not of the right religion. None of this is legal, and none of it comports with the department regulations, and none of it is a good management practice, and more than hiring anyone because of. Okay, so that's what it says. I think this is a response to what he's talking about. So let's hear this.
Senator, I can't comment on I don't know who.
Always trying to get out of it. Don't try to help out in the
I don't know.
investigation. Just be unhelpful, right? Throw it over the wall.
I've never seen it before.
So you're the chief diversity officer, and you're arguing you are certain discrimination is not happening at the State Department. Is that right? Is that what you're testifying? That's what you just said.
Senator Cruz.
Thank you.
So the email was pointing out the discrimination was happening. She said she'd never seen it before, and she has no idea what's going on. Body language experts, feel free to jump in.
Mr. Chairman, Ambassador Abercrombie Winstanley. The Biden administration, I believe, is staffed by radicals. The State Department has consistently alienated our friends and appeased our enemies. You're empowered as the State Department's first standalone Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. Your mandate is to promote a concept on the left called equity, which I think is nothing more than brazen discrimination. You were appointed in April 2021, and as you extensively testified this morning, you introduced fundamental changes to the State Department hiring practices in line with the mandate of equity to affirmatively and aggressively discriminate. A year after your appointment, in April 2022, the State Department released its, quote, equity action plan to integrate these so-called equity principles into, quote, all aspects of State Department foreign affairs. That very week, just days after you published the equity action plan, and 1 year after you began your tenure, a senior State Department official broadly distributed what I consider to be a very troubling email. I have a copy of that email next to me. Let me read from a part of the email. The email says that hiring practices have developed inside the State Department so that, and I'll quote, that certain candidates could not be hired because they have a disability. They are white men. They are straight white men. They are not of the, quote, right religion. All of these are verbatim quotes from the email of a senior State Department official. My first question to you is, did you clear this guidance?
Thank you for the question, Senator. I've never
Listen, thank you for the question, Senator. I'm gonna talk to you in my NPR voice now and lull you to sleep, and then throw it over the wall.
seen that before.
You've never seen the email before.
I've never seen it.
So you didn't know it had been sent.
So you're incompetent.
This is the first time I'm seeing it, sir.
Well, do you know that it is happening? That the State Department perceives, and this is, I believe, as a result of your work, that they have a mandate to discriminate against, as the email says, to discriminate against people with disabilities, to discriminate against white men, to discriminate against straight white men, and to discriminate against people that are not of the, quote, right religion. I'm not sure what that meant, but I suspect it meant that if someone is a Christian. I don't know that because that's not what the email says. Are you aware these practices are happening at the State Department?
Again, thank you for the question. I am definite and certain that they are not happening at the State Department. But again,
So do you believe the senior State Department official who sent this email was lying?
Senator, I can't comment on I don't know who that's from. I don't know if I've never seen it before.
So you're the chief diversity officer, and you're arguing you are certain discrimination is not happening at the State Department. Is that right? Is that what you're testifying? That's what you just said.
I am saying that it is against the law, and we certainly are not overtly or on purpose breaking the law in the Department of State. Certainly, there are members of our organization who do discriminate, who do harass, who do bully, which is why we are trying to put in place programs to address it and to strengthen accountability for those who do indeed break the law.
So you didn't.
You can be doing that from the unemployment line in November when you're fired and your job is erased from history as the first one and only person to ever hold this position. This should never be filled again. It should be completely erased. And it should be, not only that, I would go a little step further and put a law in that says it can never be instituted ever again.
Clear this guidance. And after it was sent, you're testifying now that you remained unaware of it. So no one showed it to you. You were in the State Department for a year. You were empowered in your position in an unprecedented way. In your testimony, you talked about creating a DEIA data working group about hiring practices and a dedicated DEIA core precept. And your testimony is you didn't know that this discrimination was happening. My staff can transmit to you the exact header and the details of this email.
Okay.
But I have to say, Ambassador,
Why would
I
she
find
get it? Why would she be on the email list as the chief diversity and inclusion
a little bit amazing
officer?
That this discrimination is being reported to be ongoing in the administration, and you are professing to be unaware of it. You know, I'm reminded from a line from the movie Office Space. What would you say you do around here? What is your job if not to stop discrimination? And unfortunately, I believe what your job in practice is encouraging this discrimination. This is a manifestation. You just said a minute ago in testimony, your hiring and promotion in the State Department will depend on complying with the edicts from your office. Is it good for the State Department and good for the United States government to be actively discriminating based on disability, based on race, based on being straight white man, or based on not being the right religion? Is that good or bad?
Senator, as I'm looking at the email, it does appear to me, and my eyesight is not great, that people have reported comments. That's certain candidates.
So what it says is, unfortunately, over the past several months, a number of people have reported comments that certain candidates could not be hired
Right.
because. So these
Right.
are employees at the State Department saying, we can't
Let's take a look at that list of people at the State Department. It's been hired since she's been in charge. And let's see who they are.
hire someone because, and here's what the email lists, they have a disability, they're white men, they're straight white men, or they're not.
Okay, it's so funny because so many people that are disabled think that Democrats are on their side. So many people that are disabled, especially dwarfs, they seem to think that the Democrats are on their side. They did more for us than anything. Bullshit. It's like if they had their way, they dump you all into a giant furnace. Honestly, to you, they're just you're worse than useless eaters. You're useless eaters that need help, and they would love to get rid of you.
The right religion.
Indeed. And so I would say comments does not at all say it is indeed happening.
Comments from hiring people saying we can't hire them because of it.
Time of the senator has well expired. Senator Rubio.
Thank you. Ambassador Abercrombie Winstanley, the president's executive order
Who does?
13985, it provides a list of underserved communities, and it mandates that executive agencies seek to promote equitable, fair, and impartial outcomes for those communities. And I too believe not only is diversity our strength as a country, but if in fact our workforce does not reflect our population, then it merits a inquiry into what are the impediments. Are there any artificial impediments that are leading to that outcome? And in the list of the underserved communities are groups that have historically faced discrimination in this country on the basis of their race, their religion, their gender. But it also includes a list of other groups. First-generation college students, which I happen to be, people with limited English speaking ability, immigrants, the elderly, former convicts, people from rural areas, military spouses, single parents, all good groups. I'm just curious, if we include all the people that have been discriminated against historically, plus all of these other groups, who is not an underserved community?
Thank you for your question, Senator.
You don't need to thank everybody for the
that
question. It's a waste
My
of time.
office looks at this
Wait,
two
time.
ways. A, that our responsibility is focused on those groups who have been historically underrepresented in the Department of State, who are protected classes. And so that is a more narrow list of people, the first group that you mentioned. The reality is, as we work to remove barriers to those groups, we are in fact leveling the playing field for every group. We're focused on making merit-based decisions. So removing those artificial barriers. So when we do things like ensure that people can interview for the Department of State via a virtual technique, while it might indeed help groups that are in the center of the country or from families that can't afford a $1,000 plane ticket to fly to San Francisco or Washington, D.C., it's also going to touch on other groups of people who also have that problem. So in that way, we are able to hit that wide variety of
No,
groups.
I understand, but I mean, when you add to and I know you didn't write the executive order, but what I'm saying is that when underserved communities expands to includes
Hey, Suzanne,
all
how you
these other
doing?
groups, which are all, I mean, there's nothing, I understand the struggles or the challenges of each of these groups individually. It just seems like we've really narrowed the pool of people who we do not consider underserved to a very narrow category of people, which obviously begs the question, what information, do we keep a list of, for example, the religious affiliations of all the employees? Do we keep a list of everybody's ethnicity?
Yeah. We
Of course they do.
collect limited information.
Of course you do.
on,
That's not an answer.
Demographic information, and
That's it. Okay, and that's a yes, but then she tries to downplay it by saying limited. Of course, you know what? You're all about gender and nation and race, color, race. Of course, you keep all that stuff. That's like our two hottest columns there in your database.
and we have a number of employee organizations that group around many of these other characteristics that you've mentioned.
Employee organizations. That's like that's putting people in their little groups at work. I mean, they do this in big corporations and whatnot too. They have, you know, LGBT whatever groups, right? They have that. They have women. Like the women get their own special group. The gays get their own. The gays and weird lifestyles get their own groups. And everybody but the white guys get their own groups. Really, it's what it is. I mean, seriously, I've been in these companies, and I've seen how far it can go from the really big ones. It's utterly ridiculous. They have all these things, all these events for themselves, and they have people that are part of these groups that are running these events and that are just given a budget and free reign just to flaunt it to the entire company that everybody's trying to work.
Whether it be singles at state, working parents at state, veterans, none of those are protected.
Yeah. Those are the ones. Those are the ones. They may have those, but those aren't the big ones. Those aren't the ones driving the narratives.
Classes per se, but they do have issues that employees talk about, work with our HR, our global talent management, to ensure that they have a level playing field and the ability to serve to the best of their ability when they're in the department.
I guess my point is, I don't know how we can possibly make these efforts to help these groups, broad array of individual groups that have been defined as underserved, without collecting information about all of these topics. Are they the first to go to college in their family? What's their religion? What's their race? What do they speak English? Are they immigrants? I mean, that's the point I'm trying to make. We're collecting a lot of information. My time is short. I did want to ask you, I'm curious how U.S. interests were advanced by promoting a film festival in Portugal that highlighted Minban, which is a film about a 17-year-old boy who has sexual relations with an adult bartender, and Saint Narcisse, which I think is how you pronounce it, which is a film about incestuous twins. How?
God. Oh man. And they just get away with this shit every day. Every day. Every day. Get her, Marco.
Would promoting, which was part of some sort of drag queen film festival in Portugal, how does that advance our national interest, and how much taxpayer money was spent putting on this film festival?
Do tell.
Thank you for the question, Senator. I will take it back to get an answer.
Oh, but you're going to take it back to get an answer. You don't know. You're fired. I mean, you shouldn't have the job in the first place. The job is a phony baloney job. It's just there to subvert. It's there to tear things down. It's a destructive position, right? And it's unnecessary. It was never necessary. It's not needed. They don't have any issues. You see, the one thing we don't push back on enough about this is demographics of this country, right? Who is in the majority? And I always use the example of it. If I was born white in Africa, in a strongly West African country, right? Am I allowed to be upset because everything is geared towards Africans? Am I allowed to get upset because there are more Africans that have jobs because there's more Africans, period, than me? This isn't fair. They think everything should be 50-50, and that does not align with the statistics here. And then when they can't get that, right, as far as blacks go, they rope in everybody else. They rope in Latinos, they rope in Indians, they rope in Asians. That's when Asians are convenient for them, right? Otherwise, they don't want to rope in, they don't want to include the Asians, right? And they start including everybody with a little bit of pigment. Anything that's just off, just enough not to get sunburned, maybe. I don't know. Right? And they start saying, okay, well, now there's more of us. Now there is. But when push comes to shove, say the blacks all go nuts, they decide they're going to take over. The Asians aren't going to come and back them up. The Latinos are not going to back them up. The Indians aren't going to back them up. They're going to be on an island, right? They think that this POC shit is like a real alliance. It's not a real alliance. It's something they created to give themselves bigger numbers so they can say that we deserve more. No, dude, it should be if one in every, I don't know how to do, this isn't my wheelhouse here, doing quick math on the spot with statistics. But if the majority of the country is white, then you're going to see the majority of positions filled by whites. You're going to see the majority of X or whatever white, because that's the majority in the country. And I say, if that confuses you, just put yourself in Kenya, right? And imagine what you're going to see there, right? You're not going to see 50% white, 50% black. You're not. Or 50% Asian, 50% black. You're not going to see this. It's not going to be divided nice and evenly, nice and equitably. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. And it's not realistic, and it's not fair, right? That means basically they would have everybody else would get more, right, than the majority of the population, based on what? The color of skin. That's all. Not even heritage. Color of skin. That's it. Pigmentation. That's it. We're fucking playing checkers here, man. I mean, seriously, this is like checkerboard shit. And it's not about they have a point or nothing. They don't. It's about the vision. It's about destroying the country. Never let that escape you. All their bullshit rhetoric and all their mixed up program, mind control, induced feelings, right? It's all about controlling, and it's all about controlling people through division, right? And destroying the country, right underneath of us. And don't forget this, that's just one part of it. As they open the borders up, as the borders are opened up, and they're shoveling people in here from all kinds of different places and trying to get them allowed, and trying to get them to vote, right? Trying to allow them to vote. And they're going to try to get them to vote. In this election, they're going to try. This is the big Cloward and Piven election, right? They're already breaking the welfare system. And now they're going to try to, again, rig an election with some weirdness, because they can't win on their ideas. They can't win on their personality. They can't win on anything, right? The media, the only reason we view them as so formidable is because of the control of the media and how many people are checked out in this country because of the narrowly scoped the narrative that they're born into, and they never escape because they're just too busy partying or not giving a fuck, or they're not smart, whatever their problem is, right? That it keeps them in the box. That box. If we were to tear down the walls of that box, take away their mind control machine, this shit would fall apart so fast. I mean, just by the majority waking up, just by the majority coming around, right? They forget who ended slavery. They forget who ended the slave trade. They forget who came to the rescue, and then who said, stay here with us, right? After it was all over. Oh, but then the people that want all this now, the people that have been abusing them the entire time and abusing us at the entire time, right, are now pulling their strings and using them like puppets to destroy the country, thinking they're going to get something out. You're going to be the first ones they take out. The first ones. Useful idiots always go first. Why? Because you're going to be the most formidable when you realize you've been played the entire time. That's why we're used to it. We're already settled in, and we're just trying to maintain our lives, our safety, our security, all these things. You're going to be the ones out in the street, and when you are, they're going to be dropping what on you. They're going to be lining you up and taking you down. See, you feel safe right now, and they want you to feel nice and comfortable out there, speaking your voice, letting your voice be heard, chanting your chants. They want you to feel safe, because when the shit goes down, you're easy targets. They'll be taken out in all those cities. Boom, boom, boom. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. I mean, they'll take you out like you won't believe. You're the easiest people in the world to deal with, because you're already manipulated. You're already pawns in their game, right? That's the thing. And as you sit there with your hand on your chin, thinking that you're so much better than everybody else, and that you're on some divine mission, right? You don't see the axe coming down from behind you, and then people like us who would, even though you've done some damage, want to pull you out and away from that, you'll ignore. The concept of equity is DEI, is communism. At its root, yes, it goes back a long ways, man. And at its root, that's what it is. And what does communism do? It destroys freedom. It destroys liberty. It is the antithesis of liberty, right? And this is a country based on liberty. If you have no liberty and freedom, this is no longer America. And that's what they want to take away. People like this want to take it away. I'm sure if Trump gets in, this job is gone. He's not going to fill this position. He's going to kick her down the road. And if he doesn't, I'm going to raise hell every day at him. I swear I will. I'll make it my personal mission. Let's let her finish up and we'll talk more.
For you, I do not know.
You're not familiar with this?
I am not.
Thank
So you don't
Marco.
know how much we spend or how many State Department employees work. You're just not familiar with the topic.
What do
I'm
you
not
do?
familiar with those films or that festivals.
Okay,
You're not familiar with that, even though you signed off on it.
thank you.
Like you weren't included. What do you do? What do you do there? All right, that was it. Is that enough to get you riled up? I mean, what do you do? I don't know. Fire her. She wastes money. That's what she does. I like to see everybody that was hired on since she came on and started implementing policies. I want to see how inclusive it is. Right? Is it inclusive in the literal definition term of it, or is it globalist, communist, inclusive, DEI inclusive? This whole thing, man. This is corruption. This is what happens when we don't pay attention as a whole, as a country. This is what happens when walls go up around us and dividers come between us. This is what happens. It's stepping down further and further and further into complete chaos. But yeah, this stuff gets me fired up, Mix. I mean, literally, we got 2 congressmen sitting up there spending their day trying to figure out why this position that shouldn't be there is doing the shit that they're doing. And nobody's surprised that they're just who they're discriminating against, because they've been taught their entire lives the white man's the bad man, right? That somehow the ability to get sunburnt makes you somehow in some way. When we were probably the original people who were enslaved way back before the African slave trade, abused, or women and children done awful things to. Yeah. See, they forget about that because it's all about convenience. That's how you know it's a fraud. That's how you know it's a fraud, when they don't let the lead with the truth, when they don't want real history involved. That's when you know it's a fraud, right? We all know it's a fraud, but the rest of the world, it just hears this woman out there and sees color now, because they've been programmed to since they were little kids going to government school and watching Hollywood entertainment, bought off establishment entertainment, establishment movies, where they make a big deal out of this stuff, and it's gotten worse, and it'll continue to get worse. I don't know what they have in store next for the next generation, man. We got to stop it right now. We're going to have the opportunity soon here coming up. Remember, that's why we got to show up. That's why we got to vote. That's why we got to keep on going after we get in the White House. We have to do more work this time than we've ever done before. Like, just getting to the election is like, that's the green light. That's the green light to start put pedal to the metal, hit the gas, and keep driving until it's done. Honestly, like, we'll see how it turns out and what we have in front of us and what comes out of the first several months of a new administration. If they steal this thing again from the anti-establishment again, we're gonna be in a different state of mind. We're gonna be in a different work mode. So we shall see. We shall see. But I think that we're gonna win this time. I think it's our turn to shine. And this time we got to make sure that all this stuff is done with in 4 years. And whatever that means, at least set up well to end, and then give it maybe another 4 to 8 to the next guy in line, who I would say reasonably should be Vivek Ramaswamy. Unless a bunch of Vivek Ramaswamy start springing up all of a sudden that are verifiable, in terms of their backgrounds and their drive and their true intentions, right? What do you guys think? I've been rambling here because this got me, man, to tell you, this DEI bullshit, the fact that we waste time on this, the fact that they're chewing up time and resources, and that they're doing damage every day in these positions of power. It just gets to me. It should get to each and every one of you too, I'm sure. Hey, K Marshall, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Hey, Mimsy, what's up? We got all kinds of people rolling in. How's it going? So glad you guys are here. We have the best crew out here in the world, the best crowd. And I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Based and motivated, energetic, ready to go, ready to make the world a better place. That's these people here. And if you're here with us, you're part of the solution. So I thank you. no matter what platform you're on, whether you're there on X or you're on Rumble, who has been having some times lately here. We're gonna don't worry, Rumble. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna catch up, man. It's just I don't know what's going on in Rumble these days. Our things are running as smoothly on their back end, but well, hopefully we'll get back on track on Rumble here soon. All right. But we're going to be actually going to Rumble here very shortly, and I hope that a lot of people will tune in for these chapters tonight. I know some people just come for the kickoff show, and that's cool and all. But man, this chapter tonight, when dictators become stakeholders, I love it when content lines up with what's going on. Like content like this lines up with what's going on in the world. And man, now more than ever, we need to understand these concepts. Now, what we'll just watch was the political aspect of it, right? The government aspect of it. And now what we're going to listen to tonight is the private industry side of it. So both sides. We see the DEI getting their own ridiculous position in government. I mean, ridiculous. That woman's probably getting paid a bunch of money to sit there and think, I don't know. What? Not just yeah, we'll take Canada. I'll take Canada. You work on that, Suzanne. You work on that. You and James and Scott Free Freedom, and you guys need to get take care of that, and we'll come save you guys. I'd love to just go ahead and incorporate Canada, and we'll give you guys. You guys have to drop your constitution, and we'll give you and drop the queen and the crown, and we'll give you ours. Your countries will become states, and you can join the fun here. Because I'm sure there's a lot of Canadians that are sick and tired of what they're dealing with. They would love to join in this fight. I bet you, man. If Congress isn't taken as well, then Trump won't be able to do much. Yeah, we got to do that too, man. We got to do that too. We can't let them, we can't let the establishment keep hosing us up. Can't keep letting them hose us up the way they are. They have. We've figured out most of their strategies, right? But we got to make sure that we get the rhinos and the Democrats out, and it sucks because that's the paradigm we're in now. That's why I keep saying it's establishment versus anti-establishment. It takes the whole political parties aspect out of it because, in essence, we have to basically get rid of the Democratic Party, right? It doesn't need to be there. It's the big government party. Honestly, people say balance. Well, we need a different party that's going to balance us and give us, go more towards the middle. But our Constitution says limited constitutional government. That's what it should be. Now, do we need a Democratic type party for some kind of balance on social issues? I don't know. Do we? I don't know. I think we just need to all follow the Constitution, and everybody needs to be a constitutionalist that runs. That's not fair. See, again, this goes back to my opening statement about the communists marching down Philadelphia. Have you guys seen this? Let's see. Let's take a look at that right now. Let me see. Where is it? I saw it somewhere. I bet you Kyle on calendar has it. He's been sending me all kinds of stuff in the background here. Where is the communist marching in Philly? Let's see. I'll find it real fast. Seriously, this is like straight out of an invasion. And in Philadelphia, home of the cheesesteak of the Philadelphia Eagles, how dare them? How dare them? No. No. Anybody finds it faster than me, throw me a link because I'm trying to. They're gonna hose me on this, aren't they? All right, can I just do it on? Oh wait, 7 hours ago. Here we go. I found it. This is fine. You guys aren't gonna believe this. Let's see. Hopefully, this is good footage. I think it's just people. Well, this will give you an idea. If I see better footage, I'll show it. If someone sends me better footage, but I don't want to get lost in looking around for stuff. Let me see. And this is from the side. It looks more intimidating from the front. people want America to end. Whose flag are they carrying? Whose flag are they carrying? Oh, look, sickle and hammer. And sickle and hammer, isn't that Soviet Union? Isn't that the Soviet Union? Right? Isn't that what we're supposed to hate? Isn't that what Russia collusion? Isn't that what they accuse Trump of? These people are allowed to walk on the street, colluding with the Soviet Union, which doesn't exist anymore. But it's still, they still want us to believe that it's the same thing as Russia. So here we go. Not only are they confused by the flag they're carrying, I guess this just stands for communism now. But we allow this to go on. Look, and there's blacks, there's whites, there's all kinds of people. They're very inclusive. Very inclusive. Look at, they all got their little masks on. Here comes a stinking hippie. I think that's the guy from the piano grift. Like the piano guy, when he was harassing the piano guy, that looks like the same dude. What did they call him? Stinky? They call him Stinky? That looks like Stinky, old Stinky. Check the private chat. All right, got this one. Yeah, that's the one I wanted. Thank you. Thank you. We're gonna go to this one next, but I'll finish this up. That looks like Stinky. I swear to God. I think that's Stinky from the piano thing. Remember the piano guy I was talking about, the boogie woogie piano guy? I play boogie woogie. All right. And believe me, we're gonna get into the grilling of Kamala on winning 2024 tomorrow night at 8 p.m. or earlier. Probably 8 p.m. because I got meetings tomorrow. So all right, here we go. More of this. There you go. There they are. Now, why do we allow this to go on? This is an invading army. This isn't just like we're a bunch of gay people who want some kind of rights, right? We already have the rights, but we're going to march around like we want them so we can advertise. But here, look, revolutionary communists of America. These people exist. I want you to take a good look at their faces to see who these people are. This is like the stereotype communist right here. Like this is stereotypical communist look. So if you're sporting this, you might want to like new glasses, new shaped beard, something. This is unfortunately the stereotype. And as you can see, that guy looks like he's actually from Russia right there. Very diverse group. There's a black guy. Okay, there's a gay guy. Yeah, it's pretty diverse. It's diverse. Yeah, all the wars have got to go except for the one that you want to start. Now they're acting like they're anti-war, and this is like somehow communism is anti-war. Freaking ridiculous. Looks like Vito. The guy doesn't look like he's starving, right? I know. This is a real thing. And we allow this to happen. This is why subversion is running wild in our country. Just, you're not allowed to march an invading army down the street. Flags have meanings. Banners have meanings. And we don't know that anymore for some reason. Like that's been taken out of education or it's just missed, right? But these things have meanings. Oh no, they're just peacefully protesting. You have that right in this country. No, they're openly trying to recruit. That's what people do when they do things like this. This is a recruitment tactic. They're trying to show their strength in numbers. They're trying to get, and they're chanting and telling you they're trying to recruit people with their chants. And get, if anybody feels disaffected or disconnected or has been, mind control into oblivion, they can feel like they can be included here, right? Feel they're part of something. That guy looks like, Adolf over here. All right. I mean, but look at this. This is an invading army. Now, just because they don't have weapons, just because they're not driving them with tanks behind them, doesn't mean that these people don't want to take over and fundamentally change the country, throwing the Constitution out, throwing all your freedoms out, throwing your right to property out. In fact, most of these people in this group probably have no idea what they stand for, but here they are. Transform 2024. That's what they want to do. So who are they promoting? Like who's their Are they running up for a candidate? Are they saying, you know, vote Harris? What are they saying here? Well, if they want to fight the rich and feed the poor, they don't want to vote for the Democrats. Look at that. I mean, who could consciously walk down the street with a sickle and after all the Americans that have died fighting communism around the world, these idiots are walking around with the very symbol of it. Hey, Keith, how's it going, man? Communism sucks, but free speech is hearing things you don't like. Hearing it, yeah, but I mean, invading armies? Or is it cool to let invading armies and people come in? We might not want to hear it, but what about when it becomes subversion? What about when it becomes a, you know, should we enable it? That's the thing. Nice to meet you, Keith. That's a question I'm asking. I wanted you to kind of get on the answer here, if you have an answer for it, because I'm on the fence too. Like that free speech thing and free country thing. Don't we have the freedom to defend our country against communism? You know what I mean? Something that's the opposite of freedom in our country that if was implemented would completely destroy our rights on all levels. And I mean, is subversion free speech? I've asked that a lot too. So I'd like to have that debate. I'd like to have people talk about it. I'm you know, there's got to be a solution here somewhere to where everybody can be, or everybody is free to say and believe what they want, but demonstrate, promote, indoctrinate, are these healthy things? Are these things that or should we have the freedom to fight these people and kick them out? People are dumb, but it is better to err on the side of less government involvement. Yeah, I agree. Communism they want total government, don't they? They want total government. These people have no clue what communism is really about. Yeah, they're useful idiots. That's what I'm saying. Communism is, I mean, they've been so, I guarantee you, like Wolfram's saying, most of these people have just been indoctrinated and they actually believe that communists want less war, no war, and they want to fight the rich and feed the poor. They actually believe that, right? That's the indoctrination. That's the danger of the indoctrination. And then you have, you know, this group isn't formidable at all, but they certainly can indoctrinate people. As we can see right here, there's a whole group of people from all walks of life thoroughly indoctrinated by this ideological subversion going on here. All these communist chants are part of mind control too. I mean, they're just not only are they promoting these false ideas of about what they stand for, but people, the more they chant it, the more they believe it. Yeah, they got all kinds of people represented there, man. All right, enough of that. Yeah, Keith. Hey, Keith, nice to meet you, man. Thank you for being here. It's really it's nice to meet you. I haven't seen you around before. Muchacho. Yeah, I got it right. Cool. Keith Muchacho. Man, welcome. Always great to see new faces. Hope you'll stick around. Do you have a Keith, do you have a Rumble account? Do you have a Rumble or an X account? See, because as you've noticed, this is the kickoff show. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. In order for us to read, do audiobooks, we have to leave YouTube, and we do those exclusively on Rumble and X, which we're already broadcasting on right now. But in a minute here, we're going to jump off and we're going to go over there and read. We want to keep you with us. So the links to either X or Rumble are pinned at the top of the chat and also in the YouTube description. So either one. Rumble doesn't work correctly on my phone. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I do have X. It's not as much chit chatting going on as on X. But if you say something, people will respond over there. At least Shelly or somebody that's over there, Suzanne and Shelly. Some people are usually over there if you want someone to chat with on X while we're reading. But yeah, Rumble is, that's the only two places we have right now to go where we can actually do the full content. But I do 4 or 5 shows a week, and most of them do stay here on YouTube. It's just a couple of them. Old School Watch Party Sunday, where we watch documentaries and on an old film, movies from like the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. We watch back when movies were fun and cool. We go rewatch old ones. We watch like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, stuff like that, good old fashioned fun movies. And then Unrig the Game, because we listen to audiobooks and off of Audible, and they copyright me every time and try to pull the stream down. So I'm like, nope, we just do the kickoff show here for the YouTube crowd, and then now those of us that can go to Rumble and X, go over there and we listen to the book and we do a little bit of post show. But yeah, that's it. I'll be back tomorrow night 8 p.m. for Winning 2024. That's my political show, politics show, election show. Basically, I am doing that like 1 or 2 times a week now. And then I have another show called Unveiling Reality on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. And that is a deep dives into topics like mind control, and root cause issues in society, division, like the really hardcore stuff, and then how to fix that. So solutions on the back end of that. And there's a lot going on in that program. There's been tons of episodes out, so you might want to check those out in my library, my playlist. You might find some topics that are interesting. And then Saturday nights, I do Winning Saturday Night, which is like a kind of a kickback show. We do good news of the week. We do funny videos. We just kind of all hang out and chat. But we hope to see you around. I hope you'll enjoy and join us for some of those shows and get to know us, man. We love new people. All right. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So that is the build. That is the kickoff show, ladies and gentlemen. It is about that time to get on to the reading. Yep, 1 hour we did it. Okay. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it, man. Look forward to seeing you next time. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we do it. When we kick off, we say goodbye to YouTube, and we have a little clip we play, and by the time the clip's done, we are out of here. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. Let's make our way over to Rumble and X and get to reading. All right. Until next time, for anybody leaving, keep on winning, and later, YouTube.
Man, everyone's tensed up for a Rumble.